What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and it's Friday, end of a long, busy week, so it's time for Free-to-Play Friday. We're here on the free-to-play account, and you can see we have a nice little 3 sacred shards. We have been doing some work on the clan boss. We're going to get into that on this episode today. It's going to primarily be about clan boss. It's going to probably be a short episode, but we're going to be doing a lot of talking about the clan boss and how we're doing on the account. First thing I wanted to go over real quick was this new fusion that is coming out. I think it's going to start on June 9th. It looks pretty cool. This guy's name is Helicath. I'll throw up a couple screenshots here. You guys can see what he looks like if you haven't checked him out already on the Raid Discord. Pretty interesting looking demon spawn champion until you get down to his knees and below, and it's like he's got those weird like stick legs like Harvest Jack has. So it's like they got down to the legs and were like, we ran out of budget for art, so let's just go ahead and give this guy some stills or something to walk around on. But this picture above, like when you see him on the screenshot with his skill set, he looks really cool. But then it's like you see the character model, you're like, oh wait, they forgot to give him feet. So it's kind of funny. We'll see if they change that before he comes out. But Spirit Defense Champion, this guy actually looks really good just at the initial glance at his kit. We don't know the amount of books or how the cooldowns will work out once we apply books. I'm not going to really read this word for word. You guys can kind of see what's on the screen here, but block damage, shields, looks like a pretty good champion for faction wars, for clan boss, any kind of content you're going to need a strong tank. Now my main account, I've got a bunch of people that can do a lot of stuff he does. Probably will still go for it. I'm just not going to be as hardcore into it. This is going to be a traditional fusion, so we probably going to have to get the rares and the epics to build this guy. So I haven't done a fusion like this on the free-to-play in a long time. I'm not really too sure if we'll be able to go after this or not yet, if I'm at the point where we're going to have the resources quite yet. This account is not quite to where my main account was, where I could start doing these comfortably, but we are going to give it a shot, and as usual, we will be checking out the epics that come with this guy to see if any of them are worth keeping. As that's kind of been the strategy on the free-to-play from day one. You know, we picked up a lot of great epic champions just by going for them in the fusions instead of the legendary, but we'll see this time how we can do. That said, let's go ahead and jump into clan boss. That's going to be the main focus of the episode today. I actually saved my keys, so I got 2. We're going to try to hit both clan bosses here and see what we can do. So we've been building a lot of champions, we're working pretty hard, and we got some really good results. We actually were able to 3-key Magic and Spirit Ultra Nightmare now pretty comfortably. And actually it looks like we're going to have to use both keys here in Ultra Nightmare. I thought I was going to have one to run Nightmare with, but that's fine. We may just do one then. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's a force today. We've actually put up 27.5 on our first key, so we're well over the comfortable number we need to 3-key is like 23.3 or 4 or something like that. So we're in good shape here. We're doing pretty good. We're going to go ahead and jump into it, and you guys can kind of see the champions that I'm using now. We did bring in Martyr mainly for using her against the Force boss because she has strong affinity. We also do use her on our Spirit team. I've actually set up a couple of teams here for this now. So we've got our Spirit team where we use Martyr. We use Skull Crusher to take the stun damage from Ninja and Frozen Banshee. Then we got Dragon there for Ally Protect. This one we've got Martyr for the counterattack, Skull Crusher for the counterattack, Geo and Rosin mainly for damage. And then we've got Aox in there to extend the debuffs. He's also in our Magic team, where we have brought in Sepulchre Sentinel. We finished building her, getting her masteries done. She's got that nice defense lead, which helps Rosin out quite a bit. Then we got Geomancer in there just to do his HP burn. Now, let me go in here real quick. So I noticed something really weird about Geomancer when I was doing some runs this week. I noticed that on auto, he was not using the Quicksand Grasp. He would use like one time at the start, and then he would never reapply it after it had fallen off. So I actually wound up having to set that to 1 for when we auto this. So that's kind of one thing to maybe keep in mind there. But you can kind of see some of the stats on these guys now. Geomancer, we can still do a little bit of work with his defense, but Martyr with that really great defense aura kind of helps us be a little bit on the low side there. Skull Crusher, you can see his build there. Geomancer, we got Aox. Now I didn't actually wind up putting crit damage amulet on Aox because his defense was like almost 5,000. And I'm like, at this point, especially with Martyr's aura, it's a little overkill. So we dropped down a little bit. And we did give him some crit damage gloves, or not gloves, but an amulet to see if maybe he could actually do a little bit more damage. We've been working on Roz, and we got his crit damage up to 182, and we still have some room to grow with a lot of the stuff through the Great Hall. Again, we dipped down below 4K defense, but Martyr helps us out immensely with that defense aura, so it's pretty cool. We're also trying to get some counterattack accessories from the clan shop, because that can help us out too. We get those free counterattacks if any of those proc, and that can give us a little bit of extra damage. But let's go ahead and just jump in here. We are on the Force clan boss, and we are actually also, see if I can find her here. Is she up at 60 yet? Did we fully? I don't think I've finished leveling her up yet. There's Fane. So we have Fane. We're building Fane right now. She's a little bit tougher to use in a non-unkillable, but I think bringing her in here on Force, probably for Rosin or Geomancer, is probably going to really up our damage here. But we're doing pretty good. That's really about it, I think. I think we picked up a couple new legendaries from the event this past week. We had about 40 ancient shards, because now that we are hitting Ultra Nightmare, we're getting quite a few shards to drop. And I went ahead and pulled for the buy, or I call it the buy one get one legendary, but it's like the pull one get one. We actually hit Molly on that, which is pretty awesome, and then we got Cupidus as our bonus. So 2 really good champions I think we can get some use out of on this account once we get it going. We got Godseeker here working on her, so a lot of projects to work on this account, which is kind of exciting. So let's go ahead and just jump into this run here. We'll get this going. I play these on auto. The funny thing about this is we've got 3 key Ultra Nightmare at this point. No unkillable, no speed tune. It's just put it on auto and let it go. The only one I do manual is when I do magic, because I delay it a couple turns. So Sepulchre Sentinel is using her block debuffs right before the stun, and then it kind of helps you get a little bit more longevity out of that run. But they've been doing pretty well. It'll be interesting to see how Aox does here now that he's got a little more crit damage in his build. But hopefully these guys can do some work here and at least get us in a situation where we can 3-key this boss. Because that'll basically mean we've 3-keyed all of them now, and our main focus is going to be on trying to get the 1 keys for Nightmare done, which I think we're pretty close with that. I think that's just going to come down to Great Hall and getting some better gear. I actually did 1-key the Spirit Nightmare boss the other day, so that was pretty cool. So we're at a point now where if we can do 3 keys, 1 key, we'll be perfectly fine for getting those top chests on both. So pretty exciting. But that's really all that's been going on. I think my main account, we had the 2x voids recently. I got the Warlord here on the free-to-play. I was excited, but I was a little bummed out because I'm like, man, I could really use this guy on my main account. It's like I seem to get those really good legendaries for Arena, like Kymar and Warlord on this account, but then I did wind up pulling a Krisk on my main, which was pretty awesome. Krisk is one of my most wanted champions for the last 2 years. He's just a great champion overall to have, so he's pretty cool. So that was pretty exciting. That was kind of nice to get a Krisk over on the other account. But so we got that going on. That's pretty cool. And then we actually did manage to clear another faction war stage on the free-to-play. We did get Lizardmen 21 done, which I was really surprised. I was able to do it with 250s. I just had reached the area with some keys on 21 and just kind of threw the run on, and they managed to clear it with 1 star. And then I did it again and just walked away. I came back and they had 3 started. So I was pretty surprised to see that, especially since it took me a long time to beat faction war, like Lizardmen faction war on my main account, even with better champions with Draco and a couple other ones there. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. So I guess that shows that maybe I'm learning, getting better at the game. Or I just have better gear on champs on this account. Maybe, I don't know. But basically all we did was we threw some speed gear and some immortal gear on Broadmaw at level 50, not even fully ascended, and just threw them in there, and that seemed to make all the difference. So we got 1 more faction done, 1 step closer to getting Liddy on this account. So that was pretty fun. Pretty fun there. So all right, we're at 11 million, almost 12 million at turn 13, which is pretty good pace here so far. Everybody seems to be fairly good health. We've got lifesteal gear on everyone, so we can get healed up here basically on each attack. And it becomes a matter of when you get later into the turn count with the clan boss, just on how hard he's hitting you and whether or not you can heal back up from it. But that's why we kind of go big defense. Everybody here with Martyr's Aura is, I think, well over 4,000, with the exception of Geo, but he's probably around 3,500 or so. So it works pretty well. You can see all of our debuffs here are pretty much kept extended here. We got decreased defense. HP burns up there for 7 turns. So every time he hits us with an AoE, we're getting that bonus damage from Geomancer, which is pretty nice. Weakens up there for 4 turns. Decrease attack. So that's kind of the benefit of running Aox and why I think he's so good here. At least we can run him in Magic and Force. It's going to be kind of hard to replace him because he does provide us with that really nice debuff extension. The only issue with this comp is we don't have a lot of poison. We're relying solely on Aox for poison, and we're trying to get most of our other damage out of the counterattacks from Martyr and Skullcrusher, plus Geomancer. A little bit of that bonus damage. But you can see there when the clan boss hits us, he takes a ton of his own damage. Not just from those poison stacks, but from Geomancer hitting him back, which is pretty cool. So we're almost to 20. Remember, our magic number here is like 23.4. That's kind of what we were going for to get that 3 key. And we're looking in pretty good shape. Turn 20, we're already at 20 million damage. Almost a million per turn is really good, especially from a non-unkillable team. And again, our gear here is not amazing. You saw some of the stats before we went through and we did the run. So I'm pretty excited. We've come a long way on Clan Boss, and it's kind of nice because I'm not going to wind up having to invest all my good speed gear into trying to build an unkillable team, since we can pretty much achieve a 3 key on all the affinities. I don't really think there's much of a point trying to waste all his resources now building the double Demitha or, going for the Man-Eater Painkeeper, because, I mentioned it last week. I'm just lazy, and I really don't want to tune a stun target, have to rely on the luck and all that stuff. So that's kind of what we're worried about. But there we are, 23.4 already clear. We're on turn 24. We're still doing pretty good. Skullcrusher's going to clear off that stun by himself, and we're still slapping pretty hard. Starting to take a bit more damage. You can see here the damage is really starting to ramp up. Now eventually we're going to bring Fane into this comp. I doubt she's going to be able to survive much past turn 20 or so. So it's just going to be a matter of how much damage we can do in a short period of time. So we lose 2 guys. Geomancer, Aox are down, but it looks like we're going to be just fine. You look at Rosin, 153,000 plus the Giant Slayer proc there. Boy, he's putting in some. Rosin is really putting in some work. I hope someday I can get his crit damage up over 200, because I think he can really do some crazy damage once we get him some better gear. I mean, he's already doing pretty. I mean, he got 2 Giant Slayer procs there. That's pretty huge. So we're well over our 3 key number. We're doing pretty good. Looks like we're going to hit at least 28 million here. We lose Rosin here. Okay, we lose everybody here. That's fine. So no big deal. With 28.2 million, Geomancer coming in with 11.4. I've seen him go as high as 15 on this on the Forest boss here. I have had a couple keys get up into the 30s. Rosin, pretty respectable, 6.5. Again, there's not a whole lot of poison in this team, so I think when we can bring Fane in for Rosin, I think we may be able to actually squeeze out a little bit more damage here. Now, if we can get this to 35 million, we can then get a 2 key on Ultra Nightmare, which would be pretty amazing. Like I said, it's not easy building a team when you don't have the unkillable stuff that can last a long time and do a good bit of damage. So I think we're doing pretty solid here. I'm pretty happy with how we've been able to build these clan boss teams over the last couple of weeks as we've gotten back into this account. So we're at 55.6, which means we really only need about a 15 million key on the next key to get the 3 key, which we should be in good shape for that. So not going to worry too much about that. We should be able to get the top chest. And like I showed you on the first page where we got those sacred shards, we've been getting pretty fortunate getting those drops. We're also getting quite a few books. I think I'm up to 10 legendary books now since last Clan vs. Clan, so we're doing really good. Of course, some of those came from Faction Wars, so I shouldn't say those are all from Clan Boss. We have been getting a lot of stars on the Faction Wars. I can actually go out and show you guys that here. I think we got Demon Spawn and Ogren Tribes tonight. I haven't really been pushing those too hard, but you can see here we did get up to 57 Night Rev, 57 on Undead, and then we're all done with Lizardmen, which is pretty cool. So I think we have 19, or we have 20 and 21 to do on both of these. Skinwalkers, we got a lot of work to do. We're done with High Elves, we're done with Dark Elves, done with Barbs, we're done with Banner Lords. So actually, Dwarves, I've finished 21, we just need to 3-star it. So we're doing pretty good. We're at 769 out of 882, so working our way up. Shadowkin, we need a lot of work. The problem with Shadowkin and Skinwalkers, I just don't have a lot of the support champs built. Like I have Ninja, he's really good, but I need to build the other 4 that are going to be around him. So getting close on quite a few of these. Even in Demon Spawn, we're at 56. So Orcs, we I ran Orcs up pretty good this week because we have Seer now and we have Warlord. That actually let me beat like 4 stages, and that was our worst faction up to that point. So moving along, making some good progress. Anyways, guys, we've hit about 15 minutes here, so I think that's good enough for this episode. Again, I'm going to try to start keeping these a little bit shorter so people will stick around a little bit longer, because when they see those big, long videos, they tend to not watch as long. Not that I'm really too worried about it. Again, I do YouTube as a hobby, so it's not something that I really worry about too much. I just, I look at the analytics and I kind of see what people like, and I'm like, oh, you know what, at least try to give the people what they want, put a little bit of the effort in. When we're making the videos, sometimes I make 3 or 4 a week, sometimes I make 1. It just depends how I'm doing that week, how busy it is. I know a lot of people are jumping over to Diablo this week too, but I really just don't have any interest in Diablo. I tried Diablo 3. I think I played the free trial up to like level 20 and just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into Lost Ark either, so I guess those top-down games just really, they're just really not for me. I don't know, I just don't prefer the style, but I see a lot of the raid content creators were streaming today, and a couple of them are running their mouths a little bit about, oh, no one's playing raid anymore, I'll play in Diablo, and I'm looking at it like, dude, you got like 50 people watching, and the people streaming raid are all at like 130, so I don't think that's an accurate statement, but whatever, it's just funny. Everybody's looking for another big game. They'd probably be better off just sticking with raid and being a little bit less negative toward the game, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, best of luck to anybody that's jumping into Diablo and trying it out. If you guys are playing it, let me know how it's going so far. Let me know what you think. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to leave it down below. I'll do my best to get you an answer as soon as I can. As always, hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you again next time.